Now, moving swiftly along, I would like to introduce our next speaker. One of the highlights of the conference is to introduce Mr. John Gormley TD, the Cathaoirleach of our party. John now is a man who needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him a brief one. There's a gentleman in his constituency who's known as the Rottweiler for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. So I had to try and think of a suitable animal to give John. I'm sure he's had many suitable animals associated with him, but I was thinking of polar bears, and finally I think that the best way that I could come up with to sum up John is Siberian tiger, because he's cool, he's calm, he's collected, and he's a very powerful man. He's in control, and he's going to speak to us now. John.
Thank you, Neil. Yes, I have been called an animal in the past. A political animal. Well, friends, we're on time, and it's brilliant. And Renata Kunas said to me this morning, "You guys are more efficient than Germans." And I take that as a compliment. And can I say a very big thank you to Stefan Nutty and the staff for doing such a brilliant job. Friends, it's great to be back in Galway. I came down yesterday on the train, on the overcrowded train. We'll get that fixed when we're in government. But what was remarkable was the number of people from Galway who came up to me on the train and who said, "Neil O'Brien is doing a brilliant job." And I think we can all agree that Neil is doing a great job. And I think we can all agree that Neil O'Brien will be a TD in 80 days' time. It was wonderful to hear Renata Kunas this morning. Many years ago, another German Green, the late Petra Kelly, used to say, "We have only one planet, and there are no emergency exits." It's a phrase that resonates with Greens and increasing numbers of people throughout this country, but it means absolutely nothing to the PDs and Fianna Fáil. Because they live on another planet. It's called Planet Bertie. And Planet Bertie is a very strange place. On Star Trek, they might say, "It's life, Jim, but not as we know it." On Planet Bertie, you can sign blank cheques. Because apparently, everyone does it. On Planet Bertie, you can spend the average industrial wage on makeup. On Planet Bertie, you can get loans from people that you don't have to repay. On Planet Bertie, you can save €50,000 without a bank account. And on Planet Bertie, climate change doesn't exist. All that stuff is made up by Trevor Sargent. And on Planet Bertie, there's a strange cult called Fianna Fáil, a type of religion without vision or values. And every year in August, they go on their annual pilgrimage to one of their sacred sites, the tent at the Galway races, where they pay homage to their gods, and the gods bestow them with gifts for doing their bidding. Oh yes, my friends, it's a strange place, planet Bertie. So strange and so alien to our sensibilities that it's a planet that we Greens would like to avoid. For let there be no doubt, we want Fianna Fáil and the PDs out of government. We want change. Michael McDowell wants things to stay the same. The man who said no thanks to one-party government has now become its mainstay. As you know, Michael's popularity is soaring with Fianna Fáil voters. It doesn't matter what Bertie says or does, Michael will stick with him. The PD enforcer has become the Tammy Wynette of Irish politics. Standing desperately by his man Bertie. Who would have thought it possible that the PDs would call for an end to tribunals inquiring into corruption? Or who would have thought that they would refuse to speak on the Moriarty Tribunal? Michael has gone native, more Fianna Fáil than the Fianna Fáilers themselves. The Green Party wants high standards in high places, not because we're particularly virtuous, but because ethical standards improve the quality of our democracy. We do it because we recognise that there are now three governments in this country. The permanent government, which is the civil service, the present government, if you could call it that, consisting of the PDs and Fianna Fáil, and the real government, which are the gods in the Ballybrit tent. These people have inordinate influence on how our country is governed. We have seen their malign influence in so many areas, particularly in relation to planning, and it has to stop. With the Greens in government, it will stop. We will introduce the strictest ethical standards ever seen in this country. We will curb spending not just at election time, but between elections. We will severely cap personal donations and ban corporate donations. We will introduce a register of lobbyists to curb the influence on policy. These measures will improve the quality of our democracy and make it easier for citizens to participate and create a much more equal society. One area where inequality is so visible in our society is in the health service. Any society where medical treatment is given on the basis of the person's ability to pay and not on medical need is a sick society.